All right, so another project that we're working on, we're here in the sound room or the sound foam room, and I just turned on as a couple examples some of these color LED lights just to give you an example of how we're using this room. Now this wall, we're gonna show you how we turned that wall and those curtains. That's what this episode's about, how we can make this room even more soundproof. So this is the before shot. You'll notice this wall has got this forest wallpaper. Well, we never actually liked filming on it, so I've asked Brendan to take some more sound foam and cover up this wall. We're also gonna put some blackout curtains over this window so that we're gonna have wraparound sound foam in this entire room.
Good morning, y'all. I'll give you one guess as to where I am. Here at the studio house, as usual, laying these foam squares out on the floor. But the reason I did that is because I gave them all a bath, soaked them all in water because they were compressed in vacuum sealed bags, and they were not decompressing very well at all, most of them. So suggestion was to soak them in water, wring them out, throw them in a dryer or on medium heat for like 25 minutes. So I did that to all of them. There were so many. In fact, there's still some in here. You can see. And they felt dry at the time, but I came back a day or two later, and while I had them all stacked up like that, residual water had gathered in the center of the pads and had soaked through like all of them. So they were still kind of wet. So we put a few of these in the dryer again. Otherwise, we just have laid them out to air dry. We need to do the same thing with the ones in the closet. As soon as they're dry, we're gonna get a bunch of them up on this wall. So we'll have a forest hidden away in this room, but have some cool, hopefully, looking sound foam on the wall. Just wanted to show you guys that. I needed to separate those brackets with more space, which included me cutting out a piece of that square foam piece so that the two curtain pieces could go past the edges of that window. What we're gonna do this morning is these foam tiles, these soundproof foam tiles, should have had ample time to hang out and dry, especially since most of them have had 2 to 3 rounds in the dryer. So we're gonna go ahead and stack these all back up to get them off the floor. And then they actually went ahead and got us a second curtain to hang up on this rod. So part of the reason for picking up the foam tiles is so that we can get to that rod without being on top of the tiles. We're gonna hang that up, and then we're gonna mess around with these foam tiles and see about laying them out in a couple of different patterns that might be kind of cool on this wall. And then we'll wait for approval from Nate to see which pattern we go with. And as soon as we get that go ahead, we'll start pinning them up. Okay guys, we got our first, or I got my first sound foam square layout design. I laid out here on the floor. We're gonna take a picture of that and send it to Nate, see what he thinks. I don't know if there will be too much, if he thinks there might be too much texture, because there's like 3 different textures of tile here. And then I don't know if he'll think there's too much color as well, right? We've got blue, black, and purple, but I don't know. I think it looks kind of neat. We'll get a good view of it here in just a second, so you don't have to see my face, but let's send it to Nate, see what he thinks. Good morning. Back in the basement of the studio house. We got some feedback from Nate. This is too much color, so we either just need to do black and purple or black and blue. So we're gonna take a few minutes here to rearrange some of these tiles, remove some, add some, see what we come up with. Maybe we'll do 2 different configurations and see what Nate thinks about those. So let's hop to it. Okay, we got 2 different setups put together here. We'll send images to Nate. In the meantime, we'll just stack all of these foam tiles up either against the wall or back in the closet here and move on to the next project. All right, y'all, we are back in the forest wallpaper room.
I have not gotten approval on either of the two newer sound foam configurations that I sent pictures of to Nate, but I do know that the majority of it is going to be the black foam squares. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on putting those up today. Either top or bottom, haven't decided yet, is where we'll start. We'll lay them out first couple rows while we wait for him to say yay on this one, nay on that one.
Good morning. I'm not starting the day out at the studio house, as you can see here at Wally World. We've got to pick up some protein drinks and some cheese, tea, and salami for two of Nate's clients. One of them is brand new. This will be her first day this week filming with Nate. So we want to make her feel right at home and comfortable. So let's head in and grab the snacks.
All right, so we are back in the basement of the studio house this morning. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the rest of these foam sound squares up on the wall with the layout that I had with the purple squares. We've got 3 clients coming this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll see if they use this room and watch for it in their YouTube videos. Kind of fun to see our handiwork on YouTube. Let's get to it.
All right, so I spent a lot of time using my thumbs to push these T-pins into these foam squares on this wall, generally in opposite corners on each foam square. You can see right here, where I'm holding this foam square up close to the camera. What I'm doing is pushing those T-pins into that foam square so I can just carry that around and have them there for ease of access more than anything, dumping them out in my hand and trying to carry them around that way. So that's what I'm doing with these 2 foam squares when I'm just standing there pushing shiny pieces of metal into them. But my thumbs were dang sore by the end of this project.